we built the engine that makes AI agent actually work. Who I am to say this? My name is Mike. Like we said, I'm the CTO at Botpress. I've been with Botpress for 5 years. And I want to know today who here have agents working for them, agents in their companies. Raise your hand, but I want to remove the coding agents. You have like HR agents, customer support agents. Raise your hand if you have some in your companies. Not that much. So today I'll talk about how we can use Botpress to have an agent that does those functionalities, right? An agent, if we're technical, we all use coding agents. Like, it's almost for sure, every single day we use coding agents. And we need to bridge that gap and be able to build agents that we know are reliable and that can have a success in the real world and not just talking about building agents. So I always use a scenario, a context to give a talk. Today we'll build Henry, the HR agent. So we'll go together through that journey of making and building the agent and making sure that it can survive a real world scenario. When I talk about, before going into the engine itself, I want to talk about what you need to do with your agent and what you need to go into before being able to use the power of what we built at Botpress. I always say you need to build the minimum viable agent, and usually that means using a RAG system. Just doing Q&A, you want to build an HR agent, just use your internal policies, upload them inside of a RAG system, and your agent will do, 5% deflection rate. It'll be able to help you or answer some questions, but you'll have real-world data that you can use and improve this agent over time without having any issues with governance, with security, because if you use a RAG system, your agent will only answer questions. So if someone tries to hack your agent to do some prompt ingestion, they won't be able to. The way RAG works, it just asks a question. If it doesn't find it in RAG, it's fine, doesn't work. We'll say, I don't have an answer to your question. So you don't have any security problems if you need to deploy those kind of agents. And having an agent in production will give you data, will give you really valuable information to diagnose failures, see what a good agent actually look like. You can improve it over time and make this just Q&A agent a little bit better. So you create that feedback loop where you improve your agent over time, and maybe you can go to 20% deflection rate, right? You can increase the amount of deflection that you have. And one important step inside of that process is adding human in the loop. If a question is asked, but you don't know, the agent doesn't know the answer, or is not able to give you your vacation days, or your HR agent has some limitation, right? We're only doing a Q&A. Then you can have a human in the loop, right? That prevents costly mistakes, that adds some auditing, provide the missing context that the agent doesn't have. And from that, you can integrate what the human HR person is doing with the agent, right, the human in the loop, and it can help provide the usual and really important information into the agent that you're building. So we'll say we have 25% deflection rate on the HR department. All of those questions, really simple questions, are answered by the agent, and you can't really have problems until then. Now, the difficult part, you want your agent to start doing things. You want people to say, I want to take vacation, so scheduling vacation for your own employees. I want to go and understand what are the policies if I want to travel and like apply for, a month remote. Like all of those edge cases that you want to ask for your agent internally. So you have a knowledge agent, like I said, and then we need to add actionable things that your agent need to do. I looked up a really simple, not simple, but I looked up a study that was done in the past to talk about the security side of agents. raise your hand. How big of a percentage do you think agents fail in production? Like between 100 queries, how much time you can really have security issues, flaws, as a percentage of agents? 80%? Do I have better? 60? Okay. So the study found out that it was 100%. Right? I think it's really surprising. It means that all of agents currently today have security flaws where you can find injections inside of those agents. And for us, it's unacceptable. Right? If we have agents in production with enterprise-grade software, we can't have a 100% failure rate. That's completely insane to me. And today, I really want to go into how we can make this secure and safe. And we want to avoid we want to get to zero. Maybe zero, it's not possible, but at least remove one of those zeros from that study. There are multiple techniques when it comes to building agents. The ones that people know is called React. It's what we think about when we think about reasoning models. When we have a model that you ask the model, get me my information for the number of vacation days that I have. The model will reason, do tool calling, reason again, and you have this flow of reasoning. And if you look at the data, it's really not the best at being a safe model. It's also really slow because you have turns, iterations between the tool calling. And it's really not predictable. You don't know how the tools will be called. You don't know what will be the process. You only start with a prompt at the beginning. And the next pattern that is used more than before is called PTE, plan then execute. For the people that use coding agents, it's really something that you're familiar with, right? You write a plan, you really want to polish that plan before building anything. You want to make sure that your product PRD is really well built, and then you can act on it. We see a difference when we do this two-step plan. So PTE is a way of planning the work before doing any execution instead of having a loop of interacting with different external systems. The way we usually do this is connecting MCPs, right? We want to add tools that we give to our agent, but we found out at Botpress that MCP is not the right abstraction. So we found that there are 6 real big problems with MCP. The first one is rigidity, right? The complexity that comes with those tools. You have all of the parameters that you need to provide for every single tool. If you connect Slack MCP, you'll have to provide the channel ID, like some information that you already probably know in advance, but you still need to provide those information, and the amount of calls that we'll have to do to get the information is a lot bigger. It's unpredictable. If you give a bunch of tools with an MCP, you don't know if your agent will just call the admin tool and like start to screw up your Slack integration. It's misaligned also, right? You said you can't think outside the box. If you have an MCP, you don't have the exact tool that you need. For example, if I'm building an HR bot, I don't have get my vacation day. I have get employee information, get vacation days, and then I need to use the employee ID inside of that call, and I need a lot of calls to be done one after the other just to get one tool that I know I need, but it's a bunch of tools together. There are security concerns. If you have an MCP, any user that talks to your agent potentially can access all of the tools provided by that MCP. It's higher cost. Like I said, if you have a loop calling and having, like, if you want to say, give me the total amount of vacation days in the company, then it needs to go through every single employee and do that call. You can't really have a loop. It will need to do one call after the other, which is really long for LLMs to do. And it's a black box. If you just have an MCP, give it to an AI with a prompt, you can't understand why it decided to do one pattern or another pattern. And then you do small adjustment to your prompt and you become crazy because you don't know what's happening. So it's really hard to use MCP correctly. So it's not that MCP isn't the right tool. I think it's a wrong abstraction level for agents. Cloudflare, 5 months ago, released a blog post called Code Mode, the better way to use MCPs. And the idea behind that post is if instead of just giving schemas with a list of tools that the agent can use, if we gave it a code sandbox and it can generate the code it needs to execute the plan, then AI agents are really smarter. It's really good at, like, if you generate code with AI, it's amazing. Every dev knows it. Like, every dev feels, oh, will I have a job in 6 months? Like, I don't know. So it's really good at generating code. And Cloudflare really realized that 5 months ago. We did 2 years ago in 2023. And we built something called LLMz. That's what I talked about when I said the AI agent engine. It's a set of tools, an engine that allows you to generate code and execute the code based on a plan. So with all of the 6 issues I talked about, we'll go through them and explain why it solves those issues. And Botpress has been running this open source library in production for the past 2 years. Autonomous nodes inside of our product. It's behind the scene, it's LLMz. The product we just released a few months ago, the ADK, it's also LLMz behind the scene. So it's a really production-ready system that we've been using for some time. And so to use LLMz, you need to provide a prompt. Obviously, you need to provide what do you need your agent to do. And that's the first thing we'll do, right? We have an HR agent. We'll provide a prompt to set up the HR agent. So I'll let you read this prompt. Great. Now that you've read it, once you've provided that prompt, what you want to do is simplify the cognitive task that the AI needs to do. So the first thing, rigidity, complexity, you want to remap all of the tools that you're giving to your agent and simplify what it needs to do, right? If I have a call to get the vacation days, I know who is talking to the agent. I can pre-fill the values that will be needed to do get vacation days. I can pre-fill all of the values that will be used to call those functions because I know who's talking to the agent, and I know that my agent will be sandboxed. So I can give it those tools with pre-filled values to simplify the cognitive task that it needs to do to choose what parameter will be passed inside of that function. Then, on predictability, LLMz is a self-healing engine, and it runs in sandboxes. So everything you give to it is the only thing it has access to. And if it generates codes that doesn't work, it will go through iteration to fix the code that it generated. So if it generates a code that doesn't compile, if it generates something that is wrong, doesn't have the right ID, it will, by itself, try to go through a loop of self-healing to fix the code that it generated. Next thing is the tools that we give to LLMz can be aligned with the purpose, the goal of our agents. We can take different tools together, mix them, and have a single tool that get vacation days, right? If we have 3 tools that we need to call to get vacation days from one of our employee, we can just pre-fill those values, combine those tools together, and in a single call have that value back. So if we have a bunch of tools that we know can be used together, we can pre-compute that function inside a single function, and it will call that function itself. Next one, security and concerns. If we can create our own tools, we can also add human intervention inside of those tools. So if we have one tool that is really sensitive, right? If we have a tool that is called give a raise, we don't want everybody to use that tool, right? So we need human intervention, human in the loop, to make sure that we can interact with your agent calling any tools or sensitive tools. We can have hooks inside of this tool to make this engine to make sure that it doesn't go out of rails, and we can add guardrails, we can add lots of different security concerns. And as I said, it's a sandbox. It can't call anything else than what you gave to the engine. Higher costs. How do we fix higher costs? If we have a loop nonstop of AI reasoning, it will get expensive. If I say I want the vacation days of everybody in the company and it has to go through 100 people, it will get expensive. With code, it's a for loop. You go through a for loop. You generate the code, execute the code, you have the result. It's a single LLM call, and you have everything you want. So you save hundreds of iterations throughout your engine, and you don't have to pay for a for loop inside of an LLM, which doesn't really make sense. You just execute the code itself. And the last one is, it's not a black box. You can have access to the complete and entire execution process, thinking process, what happened, every step, the cost of what happened. Like, you can optimize deeply how this works. And this engine is really powerful. You can combine it in multiple ways. If you want to have one router engine that then have other agents that are more specialized, or in a context talking to someone, you have more tools that are available inside of your sandbox, you can do that. You can preemptively decide how you manage the engine before the execution. So you have full control of what is visible to AI. You don't have all of the tools of the MCP itself. So now I've resolved every single issues I had before. I have an engine that is really powerful, cheap, and that is secure. And I can build my HR agent. And I don't know who. I was told that the crowd wouldn't be that technical. Raise your hand if you're technical. Okay, yeah, really technical. That's fine. LLMz is an open source agent engine. I talked about few of the features that resolve the issue we saw in production, but we have so many features that allows better usage of AI and safer usage of AI. So I listed them here. I won't go through all of them. Just wanted to mention that it's not only the feature I talked about earlier. There's more to it. It's more complex. It's complete. It's a really complete engine. And I executed an agent that analyzed the code, and I asked it, tell me why LLMz is useful for building agent. And it says it makes agents that were previously impossible to build reliably now straightforward to implement. So I think AI is always right, so we can trust that. And now we have our HR agent that is built, is robust, and can't be abused. So it's what I had to say today. Thank you. And let me know if you have any questions.